haven't had much time to go out too, because I've only been there once.
It's what?
I've only been there once, because not because
With
I didn't.
the kiddos
Well,
and
no,
stuff too,
yeah,
it's always hard
right.
to
Not
go.
that I didn't like it, just limited opportunity.
Well, I think we're gonna be expanding our hours soon. They just had
Really?
They just had a minor revelation. We'll see if it works, but in terms of like making our kitchen more efficient, so cutting our staff down by one through some efficiency changes, and then that allowing us to actually open in evenings, albeit with our lunch menu during the early part of the week. So we'll have our standard menu most of the week, and then our special dinner menu Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So that might help.
Yeah.
Because right now it's as just being a lunch place, there is a limited number of people you can reach, because unless you're working near downtown, you don't probably have enough time to drive across town.
That's true. That's very true in that regard. So, are you ready to start?
Not
okay,
quite.
you're working on something?
Well, it's faster for me to save it as segments. It takes a little longer for me to do it within here, but.
So that was the 14, and now we're going on to a 9?
Goes fast.
That goes real fast.
Goes too fast, really. But you know what? You have to cut all these commercials in, and we are doing 2 guests a time because I think people are liking that. And what's nice then is we can have you back. We can have other people back. I'd rather them leave wanting more than kind of going, okay, I don't know about that. Because the other thing is, if you come back, people come back. They have different things, new things, new projects.
And if you're talking about entrepreneurship,
absolutely.
The way that a business grows and changes over time, especially in the beginning.
Right. And I'm still trying to find some women, would you believe, for all the shows we've already done, I haven't had any women on, except a couple, the tattoo couple coming up.
Brianna Lennox?
I've tried to get a hold of her and she doesn't respond to my emails.
I'm ready anytime now.
Do you know her?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You know her a little bit, so. Okay. We're back, and this is Joan with the Joan Jerkovich Show, 910 KINA. We're talking with William Justice with the Wood Fashion Cafe, our young entrepreneur. And we're talking a little bit about his current business, of course, being in the restaurant business here in town, but also I'm trying to kind of steer him into what entrepreneurs are like. And one of the things, I've read some things about characteristics of them, they're attracted to challenges. They're attracted to challenges, but not necessarily risks. So how do you weigh challenge versus risk in what you kind of ventured into? And I know you've got some other things we're going to talk about with new ideas as well.
Well, challenge is kind of a compulsion, I mean, it's almost like you don't even see it, at least for me. I mean, you see what I would call an opportunity, and then you try to maneuver around all the obstacles to get there.
Right.
And I guess that is a challenge, or like a series of challenges, but that's never the part that I focus on. I'm always trying to focus on the goal.
Exactly.
Which is usually something I care deeply about.
Right.
And
keep your eye on the prize.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, the thing about that is you would want to make sure that you do have people that are looking at the challenges specifically helping you, because otherwise, they'll gang up on you and you'll go under. But
well, which is hard to do though, William, because the spirit that you have, being the owner and an entrepreneur, is unique from, as you know, the people who come in for the paycheck.
Sure.
First of all, you have to have vision. You talk about the challenge. You've also had to take a risk. I would assume that you and your wife had to put some money into this and put some savings on the line.
Sure, we've some debts without question, and it's probably inadequate actually. I mean, that's what I've learned, is that we try to do it cheaply, and we've gotten to the point now where the business is maybe being held back a little bit because we don't have more capital. We didn't take more risk to do some bigger things. But we're negotiating that. That's a new perspective that we're trying to incorporate. So, but the thing about the kind of businesses that I care about and what I'd like to see more of and what we need more of is a vision that's shareable. It's not a vision that just enlarges your coffers and gets you a 3-car garage. It's a vision that actually makes the community better. I'm devoted to the downtown. Anything that I ever do in this town is going to be downtown.
Right.
And I'm devoted to, enriching our community, doing things that benefits everyone that comes in touch with it. If you come in as a customer, you get better quality food and better for you food than you get in most other places. If you come in as an employee, you're doing something that is meaningful for those reasons. If you're someone that I'm buying product from, you know that I appreciate you in ways that, you know, other people don't. And so it just like radiates out. And I found that if you get someone as an employee that understands your vision, even if they don't want to be in charge of anything, they do just want to come in for the work.
Be a
they are
team
gonna,
player,
yeah,
sure.
they're going to work more and more passionately, longer hours for a little less pay than maybe they certainly deserve, because they believe in the things you believe, because it's something that we can all share.
And how do you talk to your employees about that? Do they just get that from your vibe and your energy, sort of like we're getting here?
I hope so, yeah. I mean,
You know,
communication is paramount.
When you interview people or you know people that, you know, come to work with you, you start to profess, you know, some of your personal philosophy, I would kind of call this.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of, if you want to come in and get a job, you know, at the cafe, at the Wood Fashion Cafe, you do kind of have to speak the language, you know, and understand why these things are important. And because if you don't, you're not going to pay attention to all the little things that we need to pay attention to, and quality will suffer, and you know, it's just bad news. We've had some experience with that, and what I found is that even if someone has no experience whatsoever
in the kitchen.
Wow. But are, you know, solid people who believe in the same things you believe, they'll be able to be trained, and when they are trained, they'll always do it right because they care as much as you do.
Well, and I was reading that in a book, and I wish I could remember the name of the company. Oh, I think it was a large internet company. There was a book written about that very thing, where if you can get your employees on board with your personal philosophy, and also it made quite a point of allowing them their own personal creativity in a way, that they'll really buy into the customer service, or, you know, the bigger vision, the bigger mission of this company. Do you allow some of your employees that level of creativity in a sense?
Yeah, we encourage that a lot, actually. You know,
helping with menu planning or whatever it might be?
Oh yeah, I always run the menu by both the kitchen staff and the wait staff, and try to get as much feedback from people about that. I mean, we've named specials after, you know, new menu items after, you know, people that have worked there and order it time and time again, kind of created it. Daily specials are often created by the kitchen, and they've gotten to the point now where they're making some of our dressings and things too. So yeah, I mean, the only way I'm ever going to be able to step back and maybe do other things, or just even, you know, enjoy my life.
Right. Get off those 19-hour days.
Yeah, is if I have, you know, people that can do the things that previously I was only doing, and so I encourage them to do both what I've been doing and also put their own stamp on it. Absolutely.
Well, and in the entrepreneurial spirit, I know you've talked to me about a couple of other projects you're looking to maybe get involved with downtown. Do you want to talk about some of those, about some possibilities there?
Yeah, I'll mention it briefly. I mean, we don't have much time left.
Right.
And I just want to reaffirm that this is the Wood Fashion Cafe that we're talking about.
Right.
That's on 7th and Ash. We're open Monday through Saturday for lunch, and currently Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for dinner, and breakfast Friday and Saturday. So please come down and remember that that's who we are.
That's right. Our local business entrepreneur here.
Yeah. So I'm also working with Salinas Downtown Incorporated as, I don't know, I'm just helping really to get what they're calling a kitchen incubator downtown. And that does three things. One, it creates a commercial kitchen where anybody who makes salsas, jams, wants to do baking, barbecue, wants to run a food truck service or do catering, can rent that kitchen space, and then it's licensed, everything's solid, and they can go sell their product legally. That is then combined with a restaurant space in the front where people that want to open up a restaurant can apply to rent the space. It's all set up for you. You have tables, chairs, point of sale systems, full kitchen, someone to help you, you know, get trained in how to run it all. And then you can take your, you know, Barcelonian, you know, Spanish restaurant concept, try it out, see if people like it.
Salina.
Yeah, try it in Salina, and then if people love it, then you can open up your own place and give someone else a chance to get in there and, you know, open up their, you know, Mexican place or their barbecue joint or.
What's the target for that possibly really being available to people to?
They're looking to get that up and running next year.
Wow, within a year,
Yeah.
with some grant writing you said they're doing through the city and all of that, so
And
that's
also,
very interesting.
Also exciting just is that then they have a grocery store space that's attached. So if you
restaurant, grocery,
and
commercial kitchen.
Yeah, and so if you're making stuff in the kitchen, you can sell it right there. you know, at the grocer, and then the restaurateur also has access to all those ingredients that are coming in, you know, all those interesting sauces and all the, you know, cheeses or whatever you happen to have. So,
and I think it's nice that you mentioned that too, because you know you obviously are involved in part of a steering committee. Is that correct on that? But also that might be something some entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs listening might hear. You know, well, this is my opportunity to maybe take a look at this and start something up.
Yeah, if you're excited about it, go talk to Phil Kleeman
Right.
and Slide downtown.
So what advice would you have as we close here? What would you say to someone who's anticipating taking that first big step? What advice would you have to them?
Oh dear. Advice.
Are you going to scare them off and say, don't do it, don't do it?
No, absolutely do it. Just absolutely do it. But make sure you find a way to trust other people, get good people in and trust them, and as much as you can, try to balance out the obsession with getting everything your way and getting it done, and then the finding the free time to replenish yourself, because it is so much more taxing than you'll ever know. It's almost like a perpetual war zone. You know, I feel like I've lost months out of my life, but.
Well, straight from the lips of someone who's been there, done that, and I think that's a great, you know, I'm going to have to replay that for myself even, because I think what you said was just so much at the heart of what you've lived and done. So thank you so much, William, for coming and talking to us about entrepreneurship.
Oh, thank you, Joan.
And we're going to stay tuned, because we've got tattooing and body piercing. I hope your appetite's going to be up for that. So this is Joan with the Joan Jerkovich Show. I love that last statement you made. Wish you could just repeat that for me. I mean, because, you know, I was probably your age when I started my company. Mm-hmm. And, of course, seems so long ago now. But still, you know, first of all, here's what I did. When I decided to do it, and the hardest part for me was actually deciding to do it. Of course, see, I opened Dignity Care Home, the assisted living,
right.
So I had to have a huge capital outlay, because I
absolutely.
built a building. I had to put a building up.
And you have to go with, it has to be to code, to spec, you have to go through that whole inspection process, probably like
and it went from I was just
agencies.
going to open some like bed and breakfast in a home and do it kind of like that sort of thing, to building this whole brand new building,
right.
And all this, it just evolves. And that's kind of what you probably saw too, is how businesses can evolve.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I remember the hardest part for me, in one sense, was really deciding to do it. Because although I had no idea, like you, the time that the commitment would be way beyond what I ever imagined, I knew it was going to be a big commitment. But once I did, here was what I did. I made the decision, and I had this vision, like those horses, like those Budweiser horses with those big with the blinders. I'm like, here I am. Blinders on, I'm going forward, I'm not looking either way, it's always forward. And like you said, if everything can go wrong, it did. Or you feel like it. I mean, that wasn't truly the case, because obviously my business has survived, yours is surviving over the years. Or
Certainly as more could go wrong.
I mean, we could be closed down. But I remember that, because one of the things in even my research that talks about people have to be disciplined, you have to be self-motivated, nobody's telling you to go to work, you've got to do it yourself, to have a lot of energy, and to have vision. There's just so many components to it that you have to have.
Yeah.
But one of them that never came up, and was probably what I tell people, was perseverance. You have to persevere through the city turning your water off, probably during your busy lunch hour.
It was during our busy dinner, actually.
Dinner hour.
I turned it away and
or food not coming in, or whatever, you know, other things, or employees not showing up for work. We know what that's all about.
Or stealing.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, we have too much of that. Even though you know some of that's going to happen, doesn't that feel like a personal affront?
Yeah, especially
when you're the business owner, it's like, you know, that's out of my pocket.
Yeah, and you're doing something kind of,
but they don't like to think of it that way.
Something small, and independent, and worthwhile. I mean, you know, I can see an argument for like, you know, stealing from Target or something. Not that I'm advocating. But from like someone that you're like looking in the face.
And you know they're the owner, and they live right here, you know, in town.
Our first day, actually, day, we were stolen from by a waitress.
Oh, that's a tough one. Yeah.
It was incredible.
And you know, unfortunately it won't be the last one either. You know, we know that. When you're in business, those kinds of things happen. So, and I think it was interesting too, we didn't mention, but this will go on the video feed a little bit too, that one of the things about being an entrepreneur you mentioned too is